Okay, this next video is going to show you how to place your pictures onto this background. So one of the good things about Photoshop is that it's kind of easy to um, tell the computer what you want it to do. For example, I know that I want these images to be on this background, so I can literally take a picture and drag it onto the background, just like that. Now, as I do this for all the pictures, a couple of things you're going to see. For example, you're only seeing one at a time, but these papers are stacked one right on top of another, and they're all the same size. So it's like doing that physically, where if you have papers all stacked on top, one on top of another, you can't see anything but the top one. You know that they're there because one other thing that changes is that here, this layers window, you can see how they're stacked. And each of the layers is named that particular picture that you're bringing on over. So you can kind of keep track of which ones that you have, which ones you still need to get. So I dragged all 6 of my letters on there. Now I just need to arrange them. There is a tool called the Move tool, and the shortcut is a V. And this will allow you to move the pictures where you want them to be. And the way I had this set up and the way that you figured this out, the width, each letter should have a 1/2 of an inch in between each other. So how are you going to do this without it getting all kind of crooked, because you want these all to line up? There is a tool or one of these attributes from Photoshop, and it is a graph, a grid that you can put on top. And a grid is sort of like laying a piece of graph paper that you can see through on top, where you can see the lines, the horizontal and vertical lines. So that'll help you out. To get there, you go to View, and it's about halfway down, and it's Grid. So you can see the grid that's on it. Now, what you're going to need to do is you need to kind of zoom in to certain areas. Now, to do this, you can click on the Zoom tool. It's a shortcut Z. And if you make a window, kind of like how we did with our cropping tool, it'll allow you to zoom right into an area. So you can see that each of these blocks is a 1/4 of an inch. So you know that this here, if in order for it to fit, needs to move over a little bit. So we're going to go to that layer, make sure that's highlighted in the layers window. We're going to go to the Move tool, and we are going to move it over. Now, I showed you in another video when we were using the cropping tool that you can do this thing called nudging, where I'm hitting the arrows on my keyboard, and that'll allow me to move it over slightly. Now, from the look of it, it looks like it's 2 spaces from over there. It's kind of hard to see because my background has a good amount of texture. So again, I'm going to move this over 2 spaces. Okay, each one is a 1/4 of an inch. Now with the grid here, it kind of senses that, it kind of like locks into that grid. You can see it kind of skipping in it, and you'll feel it kind of settle right in. So you can see I'm just dragging this over, this view. I don't need to see the whole picture, because if I just line up these corners, then you can see the end. It all lines up. Now to get to the normal view, if I hold down the Command button and hit 0, I can see the whole thing. It's kind of hard. It's a little fuzzy because of the grid, so let's get rid of the grid. We don't need it anymore. So you're going to go back to View, click the grid again, and it's gone. So they should be all lined up. This is the way it should look. It's at this point, if I want to switch these around, I have 2 Bs. I can go ahead and do that, but then I have to put the grid back and make sure that lines up. So I'm going to leave it just like that. Okay, we're almost done. One more step.